I pray that you and I will have a long-term relationship, and we will continue to help each other, support each other, and gain really what we're here to do, to fulfill God's plan. Hello selfies, how you all doing? I am doing well, my peace and blessings. Welcome back to the channel. So keep the blessings going, keep the happiness going. And as for me, I wanted to share with you all some of the books that have influenced my life, that I have read in the past, that have helped me so much and opened a lot of doors for me. And selfies, to be honest with you, some of these books were divine revelation. It was God's way of communicating to me as to how I should change the way I was thinking in the past, so that I can have the divine plan that was in me, so I can impact society, or I can impact humanity, because that has always been my dream, to have a significant impact on the society that I live or on humanity. So anyways, let's talk about the book. And the first book that I am going to share with you is this book called Tao Te Ching. I hope you can see it. There it is. Okay, so it's Tao Te Ching. It's a new English version by Stephen Mitchell. This book, it's a great book. So what I plan on doing is that there are 81 chapters in this book. Now, the chapters can be this long. Can you see it? Yeah, so the chapters can be half a page or a full page, but it's one of the easiest book to read. Also, the most wisdom. This book has life secrets, okay? And I wanted to share with you. So what I plan on doing really is, for example, if you can see that I have circled this chapter right here, because I practice this chapter. So those are the chapters that I am going to share with you, and we can talk about them, and at least I can express my interpretation behind the meaning of that chapter. Yeah, or we can start from chapter 1 and go all the way to chapter 81 and talk about them every week. We can maybe like 1 or 2 chapters and emphasize on them. However, this book is a great one, and the introduction is that Lao Tzu, he was believed to be an older contemporary of the Confucius. This is back in 551 to 479 BCE, before Christ. So before even Christ, or before other religion came, this book was out. It was originally written in Chinese, and Mr. Stephen Mitchell did his wonderful translation of the book and share his ideas with us and his translation with us. And trust me, the way I came across this book, it's wonderful, and I know there's a reason behind it, so I'm going to share it with you. So now let's go over some of the chapters that I think we should talk about. So let's start with chapter 1. So in the book, when you hear the Tao, so the book is Tao Te Ching, but when you hear in the book it says the Tao, I believe it's talking about the universal superconscious mind, the universal mind, the godlike mind, or I would call him God. So that's what the Tao means. And the master, it's you and I. All the selfies here, we're learning to be masters, okay? So others will call it the initiates, and others will call it, all other names. But in this book, you and I are the masters, because we're learning to master the art of living. So in chapter 1, he says that the Tao that can be told, it's not the eternal Tao. The name that can be named, it's not the eternal name. The unnameable is the eternally real. Naming is the origin of all particular things. Free from desire, you realize the mystery. Caught in desire, you see only the manifestations. Yet, mystery and manifestations arise from the same source. This source is called darkness. Darkness within darkness. the gateway to all understanding. Oh my gosh, the very first day I read this, I was like, wait a minute, what is this guy talking about? But when you think about it, it is basically saying that the Tao, which is God or universal superconscious mind or the universe or the infinite spirit, you know, it doesn't have a name. Some people call him Allah, some people call him Brahma, Jesus, you know, what else? What are the other names out there? Buddha, you know, we all have different names. But here it says, if you call him any name, that's not even his name. It says, the Tao that can be told is not the eternal Tao. The name that can be named, it's not the eternal name. So that means if you give any name to God, that's not even God. So it does not have any name or pronoun or description, right? And the unnameable is the eternally real. So God basically is unnameable. That is the eternal real. Naming is the origin of all particular things. If we say God is unnameable, then everything that we're naming among ourselves, it's just for our minds to understand this unnameable thing, you know, which is God. So anyways, and it says, free from desire, you realize the mystery. Caught in desire, you only see the manifestation. So for example, in life, we all desire things. And as you desire things and you persist in them, you are going to see the manifestation. But if you free your mind completely from desire, you live in mystery. It's simple yet very complex. Perhaps if you buy the book yourself and then you read it, you study it, you will get a lot from it. So chapter 2 says, when people see some things as beautiful, other things become ugly. When people see some things good, other things become bad. Being and non-being create each other. Difficult and easy support each other. Long and short define each other. High and low depend on each other. Before and after follow each other. Therefore, the master acts without doing anything and teaches without saying anything. Things arise and she let them come. Things disappear and she let them go. She has but does not possess, acts but does not expect. When her work is done, she forgets it. That is why it lasts forever. Oh my God, selfies. Oh my goodness. I mean, we can go from line to line and talk about what I believe these interpretations are, or what I believe Lao Tzu was trying to tell us from this chapter. So let's start with the first phrase or the first sentence. He said, when people see other things as beautiful, other things become ugly. When I first read this chapter, my brain, my mind exploded. I was like, wait. So let's start with the first sentence. And the first sentence says, when people see some things as beautiful, other things become ugly. So what does that mean? That really means the isness of life. So sometimes you see what is, or you know, what is good in America is not good in other part of the world. What is right in America is not right in other part of the world. For example, in America, it is forbidden for anyone to stand at the roadside and urinate. So other part of the world, that's completely normal. So what I look at things like that is, there's no good, there's no bad, there's just is. Life itself is just is. There's just isness in life. that when we look at life as not good, not bad, but it brings us more peace, more joy, more love, and we're less to judge other people, or we're less to favor other people and not others. So that's what I see, or that's what I interpreted the first sentence. And then it says that when people see some things as good, other things becomes bad. That's exactly what I just mentioned, and is the same thing. Being and non-being create each other. Difficult and easy support each other. Long and short define each other. High and low depend on each other. Before and after follows each other. There's a saying by William Blake who says, joy and war are woven fine, a clothing for the soul divine. So that means in any joy there has to be war. That's just how life is. There's death, there is life. There's sleep, there's awakeness. There is hot, there is cold. It's just a balance. So one is not better than the other, that one is not superior than the other. So if we look at life as such, then what you believe as your pains and sufferings and struggles, they're not really struggle. They have to balance. You cannot be always laughing or always crying. There's always a balance in that. And therefore, the master acts without doing anything and teaches without saying anything. Things arise and she let them come. Things disappear and she let them go. She has but does not possess. Acts but does not expect. When her work is finished, she forgets it. That is why it lasts forever. So the way I interpreted this, Lao Tzu believed in doing, not doing. You as a parent, as a teacher, as a sister, as a brother, you can teach without saying a word. You can teach without acting. It all comes on how you move. It's like a vibe, you know. He basically teach that doing without an effort, everything should be effortless. And you can see that the Zen masters, or you know, when you see someone who is a karate expert, they can move very effortlessly and very graciously. And if you look at Jackie Chan's movies, after I read this book, I started looking at Jackie Chan's movies, and I was like, oh, this is what Jackie Chan's do in his movies. He moves graciously and effortlessly. So that's what this chapter means, is that you can have without possessing. You can act and without expecting. So you can have all these things but still not have anything and be content, right? And I mean, you have people who sometimes have all like a house full of stuff and they're still not happy. And then you see other people have, few things. Like myself, I purposely decided consciously to live a minimalist life. If you get to know me later, that I am a very minimalist person, where I own only the things that bring joy to my life, the things that make me happy, that I can use over and over again. So I will invest a little bit more money to get quality stuff than quantity stuff, and I will keep using them, and you can never tell, because I choose to enjoy the things that I want without collecting. You can have but not possess. You can act without expectation. So to me, it is saying that if you do someone good, you're doing good to yourself. So then your expectations are not as high as someone who does something to someone and expect that, oh my goodness, I should get a reward from that person. Because the reward is coming from God. When God rewards you, it's in abundance. No one can measure God's reward, right? But if you're expecting reward from your fellow man, you don't know what their their belief system is, sometimes you get a little disappointed because you think your expectations are over here and their expectations are over here, and then you get over here because that's what they have. People can only give you what they have. They cannot go and give you something that they don't have. So if their expectation is here and your expectations are here, you are going to hurt yourself. You are going to disappoint yourself. So this is what I interpreted this one sentence here. And whenever her work is done, she forgets it, and that is why it lasts forever. So when you do something, any type of work, be content with it, be happy with it, and know that it is the God in you who is trying to manifest itself and trying to, know itself and trying to do these things, right? So if you have that mindset, whatever work you do, it lasts forever because you're not there to pick on it. And as you read these chapters, you are going to see that how chapter 5 might shed light on chapter 1 or 2. So anyway, so today we're going to stop at chapter 1 and 2, and I hope this video brings you joy, peace, and happiness, and I pray that you and I will have a long-term relationship, and we will continue to help each other, support each other, and gain really what we're here to do, to fulfill God's plan. And selfies, remember to check out my other videos, especially the one on parenting for all I care, because this video means a lot to me, since we are talking about our next generation of creators, or next generation of scientists, doctors, writers, filmmakers. Our children are just the next generation. So go ahead and check that video. Yeah, I will post it up. I'm not sure where it goes. Sometimes I'm like, it's right here and the video goes over here. So anyways, and one more time, here's the book. Peace be upon you and God Almighty's blessings.